I think sometimes, we play a zone and Oregon plays a very good zone. I think when you play against zones, you got to make some shots. Unless you can score inside, we don't have an offensive weapon inside at the 5. So we try to move the ball, get good movement, penetrate, and get looks. I'd say, last night we forced a couple threes. I think tonight we had good threes. I'd take those. But when you don't make them, you're not going to win too many games playing against zones. So I think we got discouraged at the end of the first half for a couple plays when we couldn't score, and they took advantage of it. They did a good job. But the bottom line is, we need to make some threes if we're going to shoot 28 of them, if we're going to be successful.
Jim, what are your thoughts on Ball?
He's a good player. I mean, he's big, he's tough. He's very good.
Have you ever seen anything like him so unique?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's a big problem out there. You got to be. We're not physical. You got to be more physical with him. We're not. I'd say he's missing shots. Maybe he's sleeping wrong, or I don't know.
Do you like the kinds of shots he's taking? Do you like the way he's...
Well, after looking at this, if I could go back in time, I'd say, well, don't take any threes tonight. But I can't do that. He's been shooting them good in practice. He is a good shooter. He shot 32% last year, but he's noticeably a better shooter in drills and in practice this year than he was last year. But, he's missing. Last night he missed threes, but he missed twos. He missed layups. He's still, he's just not there. He's not playing at the level we need him to play. We need him and Tyus to play at a very high level, and they're not. We're fortunate that Jalen came into New York and, he kept us in the game last night, and he was solid tonight. But our team is those guys. And, Elijah's a good player. He's rusty. The rust is there. He's on the verge of where he could play well, but, he has 6 turnovers, mostly unforced tonight. And, we can't have that. We've got to play much better offensively if we're going to be successful. Our defense is nowhere near at the point it was last year, and that's something that has to also get better. The only thing good about this time of the year is getting these things happen to you. There's no doubt that we got a lot of work to do. We're a long ways away. And I think it's the first time in 30 years we've lost 2 games in a tournament, preseason tournament. That's a long time to go. And we've won 15 of them probably in 30 years. So this is a low light. But when the ball doesn't go in the basket, it makes the game very difficult. Very difficult.
Coach, I know Frank would make a little bit of a difference, but how concerned are you about the offense with or without?
I think I just said I'm more than concerned.
Why do you think they're not able to
Make shots? I don't know. I guess I don't. I don't. When you shoot 5 for 28, it's like there's not much you can say about it. I think they're good shots. I think they're guys that are capable of shooting from there. Tyus has struggled. He's struggling from the 3-point line. He knows it, and so he's trying to get to the basket, which is, but it's hard to do against 7'2" and 6'10" shot blockers. But he's trying to do that, but it's difficult. He made a lot of shots last year, a lot of jump shots, and he's made 30-some% of his threes. I guess right now, I think he's made 1. I don't know for sure in the 4 games. It's a very small number, and I think we shot actually better from the 3 tonight. I think we shot 17%, which is actually a little better. I think we're shooting 16 coming in. So, we don't have a big inside game. We've got to make some shots, and I think we have guys that can make shots. But the way Jalen played here, it would have been nice to have Frank because we would have just played them together. And we'd have pushed Tyus up to forward and, done some things like that. Frank has the best shooter probably on our team in game situations from the three-point line. You know, he makes shots. At the end of last year, he shot over 40% the last part of the year. And we're hopeful he'll practice, you know, more this week. You know, we're hoping. But it just depends how he feels, you know, whether he can play or not. Ideally, we'll try to practice him Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and hope he can play some Wednesday. But I don't know. I can't call that, you know.
Jim, what were they able to do offensively against the zone?
Well, Bowles tough. They got him in the high post, and he's good. He was very good in there. He hurt us in the second half, but first half we were pretty good defensively for 15 minutes, and then we just got frustrated not scoring, and we just had a couple breakdowns. They made a couple shots. Even our guards are not playing well defensively. Their guys are getting by us out there in the perimeter, and that never has happened. That's a fundamental part of our defense being not what it needs to be, but we need to make some shots to get back where we need to be. And I think our shots were all good tonight, but they're going to make you shoot. You're going to have to shoot some shots from the perimeter against them. You're not getting to the basket that easy against. They've got two of the better shot blockers in the country, and you're going to have to make some shots. And we were not able to do that tonight.
Jim, how would you assess Marek and Howard Washington?
Well, Howard hasn't played, so I can't really assess him.
Could he get more time looking forward?
With Frank coming back, no,
Regardless.
no. He's a point guard. Jalen's playing as well as we could ever expect, and Frank Howard is a proven player. So I don't know why you'd even ask that question.
With the way your team is struggling offensively, is there anything you can do differently schematically to?
Well,
shots?
yeah, we tried things, but none of them seemed to work very well.
Is this something that the players have to work through on their own, or is it?
I mean, we tried different sets, different movements, different perimeter things, stepping people out, setting ball screens, popping, all of those things. And sometimes if the ball doesn't go in, none of that works. None of that works. And you're not going to really, what we did last night, because we weren't making shots, we got to the basket. You know, you're not getting to the basket against Oregon. So the same thing happened against Monmouth. We couldn't make any shots. We got to the basket. But you're not getting to the basket against those two guys very often. So you have to, at the end of the day, you have to make some shots from the perimeter. That's simple.
Jim, I know you spoke about Bol a little bit, but what impressed you the most about seeing him in person?
You know, he's got a great touch. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, he really does. You know, you got to be more physical. We're not physical with guys, so that's a problem with us. But he's got a great touch. He's got a great feel for the game. He's a good passer, and he's a good scorer. He can shoot from the perimeter. He can shoot from the high post. That's a great combination. You know.
One last question, Coach.
Jim, you mentioned your centers aren't really physical guys. Can they be more physical? Do they need to be more physical, or is that just something you don't think they can do?
It doesn't appear that they can do that right now. They're not. Let's play. They're not doing that. They're not affecting the game on either end. So we need more from them. There's no question. But if we score points, if our guys score that we think can score, we'll be all right. If they don't, we will not be all right. It's pretty simple.